Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this online webinar event for Black student success. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am an e-recruiter at the University of California, Merced, as well as your online moderator for this event. I would like to give you a few tips on how you can participate with us. At the bottom portion of your screen, you will see a Q&A button. You can press that button, and that will allow you to ask us a question during the presentation. You can send that over to us and we will do our best to answer either in the chat feature throughout the presentation, or actually at the end, we will also have a live Q&A. So make sure you get those questions in for us. Also, if you would like to raise your hand, there's also the raise your hand feature. You can click that button. Once you're ready to lower your hand, you can just click that a second time. If you would like to adjust your audio settings, you can do so in the lower left corner of your screen. You'll click the audio settings option, make your adjustments as you see fit. And one last thing is, if you'd like to adjust your size of your screen, you can do so by clicking on View Options at the top portion of your screen. You'll click that and it will allow you to go large for a full size or something smaller to your preference. At this time, I would like to hand this over to Dr. Jonathan Grady.
Thank you, Ricky, and welcome and to everyone here today. Again, I'm Dr. Jonathan Grady. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students here at UC Merced, and I'm so excited to be here today to answer questions, to officially welcome you to UC Merced and to our community. I know you all must have questions and want to learn more about what does it mean to be a Black Bobcat. We are thriving at UC Merced. There are so many opportunities. We are truly dedicated and supported to your academic success, your personal development, as well as your career pursuits after you leave UC Merced. We are truly, truly, truly a community. And again, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited you all are here. If there's anything that we can do to be of support, please let us know. So I want to pass this along to one of our seniors here that's graduating from UC Merced. She has been a true leader at this campus and has done so much, and you'll get to hear more about her story. She has put together this presentation and this webinar today, and I'm so proud of her and her journey here at UC Merced as she goes out to pursue a career in medicine. So Kayleen, I want to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Grady. Hello, everybody. So my name is Kayleen Leakey, and I'll be giving you guys today a presentation, hashtag Black Bobcat. So let's go ahead and get started. So just to give you guys a little background about me, my name is Kayleen Leakey, and as Dr. Grady said earlier, I am a fourth-year public health major here at the institution. I am originally from Oakland, California, so if we have anybody Bay Area students out there, whoop whoop. Fun fact about me, French is my first language. Originally, I'm from Cameroon, Africa, so over there, the original language is French, so that's how I picked up on it. I am a huge basketball fan. I spent my whole life playing basketball up until college. So yes, go Warriors. Throughout my years here at the institution, I've been involved with the campus through different things. I've been involved through Black organizations, which I'll get to talk a little bit about later on. I've been involved through research, and as Dr. Grady said, I am also a pre-med student, and as I'm graduate, I am going to be pursuing and continue on my career as a physician. So before we get started, of course, I want to acknowledge and congratulate all of our incoming and admitted students. You guys worked really, really hard to get these acceptances, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm also proud of you, and us here at the Black community, we are very proud of you as well, and we support you as you proceed on with your journey. So, table of content. Today, I'm breaking things up into different categories. So we've done the introduction. And so I'm going to talk about Black student success. I'm going to talk about Black student involvement on our campus, different resources that are available to you once you do decide to attend our institution. And then we're going to close it off with a student panel where you guys get an opportunity to ask questions, and I'll also be able to answer those as well based on my experiences here on the campus. So to kind of get us started into Black student success, what is that? So Black student success on our campus, to kind of get us started, when I started here on campus, that was originally back in 2016. I would say when I did come in, we're made aware of like the progress of the students prior to us. Our community did used to be small, but I will say over the years, each year as more students come in, our Black community is increasing. One thing about our Black student here on our campus is that they have been able to create a lot of new organizations that are here on our campus today. They have left behind legacies on our campus, and I'll be able to mention those a little bit as I move forward and talk about our organizations. And a lot of them graduate and move on to, fulfill their careers in their different departments, such as engineering and also working for the state government, all of those wonderful things. So to kind of get us started, I'm going to be talking about AFRO Hall. So AFRO stands for Africans for Retention and Outreach. And this hall in particular contributes to a lot of the student successes currently here on our campus. So kind of give you a background, it was founded back in 2014 by 2 alumni students. There was 2 young women that felt that there needs to be an increase of retention rates here on our campus for our Black community. At the time period, a lot of Black students were coming into the institution, but a lot of them were not graduating within the 4-year time. And so it was time for a change. And this was one of the organizations that began that change here. Here on our campus, it is a part of a living and learning community. So it is an opportunity for first-year students and second-year students to live on campus. As many of you may already know, the new policy now for incoming students is that you now have to live on campus for the first 2 years. Another way to apply for this space is through your housing portal. So if you go back to your housing portal, you'll be asked the question of what living and learning community you want to live on, and AFRO Hall will be the one. For me personally, I didn't get the opportunity to live on AFRO Hall, but I have many peers that did. And so it's pretty much a way for you to network with other people that also look like you. We might have different values, but it's an opportunity for you to also expand your knowledge and also interact with people and make lifelong friendships. Because a lot of my friends that I have right now and I will be exiting the institution with, a lot of them did come from this organization and from this hall. Do keep in mind that the location of this hall is in something called Cathedral. It's a 3rd floor and it is a triple room style. So it will be you and 2 other persons in the room. And then the way the rooms are set up is, of course, it's not mixed genders. It's a room of all girls, and then next door will be a room of all guys, and then it moves on. One thing that this organization stands on is 4 pillars. So it's unity, academic excellence, mentorship, and community service. All of these pillars is what makes this organization. Unity, going back again to living in the same space as people that look like you. So that's a way for you to build your family away from home. We have academic excellence. Once again, I did mention that this organization is an academic organization. So this will be the org that will give you opportunities, study sessions. They'll be the one to say, hey, what's going on? Like, you need to come in, you need to study, just to make sure that you're maintaining your grades where they're at. Another thing is mentorship. So you will be you have the opportunity to be paired up with an upperclassman that has experienced the campus and can share the knowledge that they've gained with you and help you navigate as well. Community service, of course, we want to give back what has been put into us. So here at UC Merced, we'll be able to go into the Merced community and you'll be able to participate. So whether that's through churches, whether that's through nonprofit organizations, or whether that's even going into certain nursing homes and working and going to certain nursing homes and also interacting with some of the elderly.
And just to note, in terms of retention at UC Merced as it comes to Black students, it is important to note that Black students have the highest retention rate at UC Merced, and that is something that we're very proud of. In addition to that, I do want to mention, in terms of questions, please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A box. We will try to get to as many questions as possible by the end of the presentation. So just note that that is an option. So go ahead, Kaitlyn.
Thank you for that. Yes, most definitely. To move on, we're going to go into talking about Black student involvement on campus. So here on our campus, in terms of Black student involvement, we have about over 6 organizations that students can come in and join. And do keep in mind, going back again to what I said earlier about students leaving legacies here on our campus, all these organizations on campus have been founded on the back of our students, whether these are current students or whether these are students that have already graduated. So here, what you guys can see on the screen is just a few pictures from different organizations here on our campus. First thing that you see up here is our S.T.E.P team all lined up. Next picture that you'll see will be our Black Family Day, which I'll talk about a little later. The next picture that you see with the wording Titan behind it, that's some of our students at our annual African Black Coalition Conference. And then we have another organization on campus called Distinguished Ladies, which is for women empowerment. And that will be the picture that you see at the bottom right-hand corner. So going back again to the organization that I mentioned earlier, Africans for Retention and Outreach, for short, it's called AFRO. And the housing that I was talking about is just a branch of the organization. So this organization is to unite and establish an African community that strives on academic excellence, community outreach, and mentorship program that fosters student development throughout their college experience. So coming here on our campus, one thing that some big events that you will see from this organization is something called Ice Cream Social. That will typically happen at the very, very first week of school. That's a way for you to network and meet other students and kind of get your college social life going a little bit. I mentioned earlier that we have mentor and mentee pair up. So there is a mixer for you to be able to interact with some of the upperclassmen and just kind of see who do you see fit to be able to navigate you throughout your college process. Whether that's somebody that has the same major as you, whether that's somebody that have the same interest as you, whether that's somebody that's a first generational student as you, whatever that interest is at Click, it's a way for them to just be there for you. Another thing is Black Faculty Gala. So we have a strong Black faculty group here on our campus, and I will say that they are very supportive of our goals, our dreams, and whatever it is that we want to get ourselves into. And I'll talk a little bit later about who some of them are. Another big event is our Black Family Day. Of course, yes, we're on campus away from our families, but we do not forget our families. So every year during Black History Month, this organization will throw an annual Black Family Day where we invite our family members to come out and just kind of have a good time with us. Typically, we'll bring out games, there'll be prizes, there's a DJ, there's free food. And so just a way for everybody to kind of come together. And going back again to that pillar of unity, this is one of the activities that go for it. And then, of course, we want to have a little bit of fun. So there are retreats that this organization do put on. So this retreat, what it pretty much is that it's a student retreat. And sometimes we go to Yosemite and we rent out some cabins and you try and get together, you cook together, you play games together, you do little leadership building skills. Me personally, I have been a part of this organization since my freshman year. So this organization is a little more special to me and it holds a little more closer to my heart. But this is what this organization is. And if you are interested in this or would like to know more about this organization, their Instagram is right there and their email is right there. And you're more than welcome to take a screenshot of any of this and keep it. The next that I'm going to talk about is our African Student Union, short for ASU. So this will be our cultural organization on our campus. This is the campus where you can go and learn about all culture within the African diaspora. And so one thing that it does is enhance political awareness, social tolerance, and cultural diversity to the students. So some big events that they do on our campus is a bonfire. This is typically like their initial, going back again to that first week of campus where you're just interacting, figuring out where you want to fit in and where you want to participate in. Another big event is a culture show. This is like the biggest event. This also happens within Black History Month, and it's a way for pretty much see all cultures that's out there, interact, and get to kind of like expand your knowledge. This is an opportunity to see things such as fashion show. We typically also invite a comedian, like African comedian, that will come in and put on a show for us all. And it's all for a good time, and all these events are free as students, and all you have to do is just show up, participate, and just kind of know what is out there in this world. Another thing that they do attend is a conference called a Nigerian Student Coalition Conference. It's a conference where you get to go, you get to network with other students at other campuses. So you're kind of stepping out of your UC Merced bubble and networking with other people around you. And also going back again to learning about different, cultures, different backgrounds, and you also have discussion. So you kind of have open discussion to see what are some thoughts on other people's mind as well. And then of course as well will be retreats. I know last year they were able to go to the African Museum in San Francisco, and then after that they were able to go to the Museum of Ice Cream just for a little bit of fun and relaxation. And so once again, their contact information, Instagram will be at ASU UC Merced, and then their email is going to be afrostudentunion@ucmerced.edu. Next thing we're going to talk about is our Black Student Union, short for BSU. This organization on campus is the org that will provide and foster awareness in terms of African American culture, as well as enhance our political awareness and social tolerance on our campus as well. And so this organization, some big events that they will pull out is a Black barbecue. Going back again to that first week where you're just kind of socializing and meeting new people. This typically happen off campus. We have something called, we have a little lake that's not too far from the campus. A lot of students like to go out there and hang out, spend time. And so there'll kind of just be a barbecue, just all of us students. Sometimes some students from other campuses will join us, and we'll back again. It's just networking and finding your group of friends that you can stick through, and we'll be a support for you. Another thing that they do is pajama jam. Go ahead and put on your pajamas, come onto the campus, have fun, interact, and then going back again to the African Black Coalition Conference. So this conference is one of the biggest national conference for African American students. It's typically about up to 1,000 students gathered on one campus. And so you'll be getting a way to interact with all students all across the California, whether it's from the CSU system, the UC system, private school system, and sometimes we have a few community college students that come up as well. UC Merced had UC Merced was able to host this conference. This happened last year, and so was able to interact with students as well. This conference is also a workshop conference. You kind of get to network, learn a little bit about your Black identity, talk about social topics that are happening in the world right now in terms of a Black student. You get to also, once again, interact with students and see how is their experience different from you and how is it similar as well. Me personally, is one of the best conferences to attend. I've been able to attend it all 4 years, and I can't say I've had a year that's been bad. Once again, BSU, this is where you can contact them down below. Don't forget to screenshot. And then one good thing about these organizations is that it's open to all. So you don't have to be a sophomore to join or a junior to join. You can come in right off as a freshman. And some really cool things about these organizations is that you also get things such as t-shirts. So right now I'm wearing a t-shirt for AFRO, Africans for Retention Outreach. And these are just some like cool perks that come with joining these organizations. Another organization on our campus is Distinguished Ladies, DL. This organization on our campus focuses a lot on women empowerment, on women uplifting one another. And so two big events that they have on our campus is World AIDS Day. So that's the day where we bring awareness to AIDS. One thing that they do is that they help volunteer. So we typically have trucks that come on campus. And so that day, if people want to like donate blood and all of those stuff, they also actively participate in that as well. And then of course they have something called a paint and sip. So wait for you to kind of come in, lay your hair down and just interact and girl talk as well. And ways that you can get in contact with them is be down below. And if you follow them on their social media page, you'll be able to see all of the upcoming events that they have and kind of start putting yourself in that mailing list. So National Society of Black Engineers will be our next organization here on campus. So one thing to keep in mind, although it is an engineering club, they do advertise a lot that they want students that are not engineers to come on as well, because there are also opportunities that you can gain from them. So one thing they do is increase the number of culturally responsible engineers who excel academically and succeed professionally. So two big events that they do is that they do a lot of networking regional conferences. So they have a fall regional convention that they attend, and then they have a 4-day national convention. Typically what happens at these conventions is that they get to network with all sorts of companies. So Chevron, Apple, AT&T, Microsoft, all these companies are all there, and this is a way for you to kind of gain internships, which would be very helpful in your career development. This is a way for you to also get your next job. I know recently we had a graduating student, and because of these conventions, he has been now able to graduate and start off at his job right off at Chevron. And now that's where he's working full time and, you know, being able to put his degree to work. So these are just different opportunities that coming here in our institution, you will be able to take part of. And so their Instagram is down below as well. As I mentioned for previous organization, you could take a picture, screenshot, whatever it is. And then this is something that's starting on our campus that's fairly new. We have the NAACP chapter at UC Merced. So the NAACP is to secure the political, educational, and social equality of rights in order to eliminate race-based. So this is going back again to how students leave legacies behind. This chapter is actually being started by a sophomore student here on our campus who decided that it is time for a change. It's time to bring something new and keep increasing the opportunities that we have for our Black students here on our campus. And so some of the big events that they'll be working on is professional development. So resume building, interview questions building, putting yourself out there, and then also bonding socials, find ways to promote change, and then traveling opportunities. So going out of state and going into conferences that'll help build your leadership, help build your background, help build your social network once again. And so for you to be involved, this down here, to be more involved in it, here goes all the contact information as well. Next thing we have is the S.T.E.P team. This is also, once again, a student organization. This organization was actually found by a freshman student. Her name is Cortavia. She came in her first year and said, you know what, it's time for a change. I love S.T.E.P and I want to bring this to our community. And so some big events that they do throw on is the Best of the Bay competition. So it typically happen back in the Bay Area where they compete for a trophy or a prize. Cultural show performances where they'll perform. Boys and Girls Club. We have a Boys and Girls Club in Merced, and they typically go out there and going back again to giving back to your community. So this is a big one because, you know, out of all years that UC Merced has been here, we have yet had an NPAC chapter on our campus. And once again, with the help of a current faculty member, Tawana Parks, and also the striveness and thrive of our students, we've been able to bring on our campus Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. This is an organization that all students will be able to join. Do keep in mind, though, they do also have their personal requirements that you can find more on their website in terms of like what GPA you need to have, how many hours of classes that you need to have. And also keep in mind that this is the name of who you can contact. Tawana Parks is our director of involvement, and her email is down below if this is an organization that you do decide you want to join when coming to our campus. Going back again, this is some pictures. Black Family Day, as you can see up in the upper right left-hand corner. On the upper right-hand corner is a picture from one of the conventions that the students have been able to attend through NSBE. Down below is the ASU picture going back on retreats. And then on our down right, we see our beautiful ladies, or actually the e-board for our e-board for AFRO here on our campus. So student resources. Coming here on our campus, one thing I'm really happy about our campus is our Black faculty and administration. As you guys can see, one of them is standing here, Dr. Grady. He's one of the amazing staff that we have here on our campus. Do keep in mind that this is not a full list of the amount of Black faculty and administration that we have on campus. In total, there is 32 of them here on our campus. This is just a few to name. If you are interested in wanting the full list, 32, including their names and also what title what's their position here on our campus, there will be an email at the end for you to be able to go ahead and reach out, and we can go ahead and share that full list with you. Just to name a few of them, we have a sociology professor, Dr. Whitney Purtle, Dr. Mark Harris, who's our business professor, and as you can see, they all in different majors and different criteria, so there's different ways for you to expand yourself. So resources on our campus, this is also just a few. but there is definitely more. But some key important ones is a Black Resource Center. This also has been able to come about through the help of our students. And do keep in mind, this is something that's continuously growing and expanding. Another good thing is a Black BOBCAT group chat. So once you come into our institution, you will be listed into a group chat full of all of our Black students here on our campus, and that'll be another way for you to also network and see who's around you for support. We have a book loan program. One thing a lot of students tend to forget is that coming to college, you're not alone. People have taken classes before you, so you want to definitely reach out to people and try to borrow those books for them, use it, and see what you can do with it. Another big thing that we have is that for counseling and psychological services, mental health is something that we're trying to be very, very big on, and making sure our students know that though you're here for your academics, but your overall health has to be one thing that's also really going into leadership, and then campus activity boards. So we call them CABs on our campus, and they'll be the ones to host fun events on our campus for you all. Great.
Yes, and thank you for that, Kayleen. And another resource that I definitely want to point out is my office, the Dean of Students office. My role on this campus is to make sure that all of our students are successful, not only our undergraduate students, but our graduate students. So if there's anything that you need, my office is here to help you. We help students not only academically, we help students personally, and as well as within their career pursuits. So that is just another thing to keep in mind. We have an amazing basic needs unit as well in our campus community, recognizing that some students may face basic needs concerns and they need support with food, with housing, with transportation. So we have that support. We also have a lot of support as it relates to careers and making sure that our students are situated and ready to go for life after UC Merced. So just know that there are a variety of resources here to help you succeed. That is in our mission, and that is what we stand by each and every day.
Thank you for that add-on, Dr. Grady. So that concluded the PowerPoint presentation, and now I would love to use this time to answer some questions that you guys might have, and let's get a discussion going.
Great. So we have a variety of questions so far in the Q&A box. So we'll start from the top and move our way through. If you have additional questions, please feel free to type them in the box, and we will definitely try to get through them in the time that we have. So we have a question about Black fraternities on campus. And Kayleen, I'll let you jump in. But as Kayleen mentioned, we do have our deltas coming. That has been something that the campus has been working on and students have been advocating for. We are still working on getting a Black fraternity on campus and to get additional Black sororities on campus. So that is something that is ongoing. And just so you know, if there is not, if you do not see a club or organization on campus that meets your interest, you can start your own club and organization on campus. We have hundreds of clubs and orgs on campus, but just know, I see there is a question about, do we have a Nigerian student association? Knowing that if you want to start something, you can start it, and we have the support in place to make sure that you are able to do so. Anything you want to add, Kayleen, about just Black fraternities and sororities on campus?
Yeah, just like Dr. Grady said, you can come here. For us to even get the deltas on campus, it took a lot of help from the students. So if you see that, Black fraternity isn't something that we don't have at the moment, and do keep in mind it is something that we're continuously fighting to have, you can come to campus and be a part of that fight to make sure that it gets done right away. And your voices will be able to get heard. As far as having a Nigerian Student Association here on campus, we do not have specifically a Nigerian Student Association. We have African Student Union, which is a mix of Nigerians, Cameroonians, Kenyan students, people from the East Africa. And so, yeah, like Dr. Grady said, you're more than welcome to come and start.
Absolutely. There's a question here about capacity in AFRO Hall. So Kayleen, I know, would you like to speak to that?
So, yes, there is a capacity limit on AFRO Hall. Like I did mention, it is one hall. We have 60 beds to fill up. So unfortunately, as application comes in, it's not always a guarantee that you will be placed on the hall. Once you do select Afro Hall, you should be followed by a supplemental application, which will have about roughly 5 questions for you to answer, just for us to get to know you a little bit more. And so that's kind of how the process for it would come. But do keep in mind, if you're not able to live in Afro Hall, you are more than welcome to join the organization, which is overall Afro, and you'll still be able to interact with those same people and receive the same resources that they'll be receiving as well.
So thank you, Kayleen. There's another question here about the 2-year mandatory housing requirement and do I have to live on campus? And one of the things that we'd like to point out, one of the things that, as I mentioned earlier, that is really important to us is your success. We want you all to graduate. And if we look nationally at trends, the average time to graduation is now moving beyond 4 years at most campuses. However, as I mentioned earlier, Black students at our campus have the highest 4-year retention rate. So that's something that we're very proud of. We did an external evaluation and review of our campus, and one of the things that we saw was that students living on campus had a much higher retention rate. So through programs and living learning communities such as Afro Hall that really focus on Black student success, that has really helped our Black students be successful. So that is why we do have that requirement to ensure that for the first 2 years of your campus experience with us, that you are fully engaged on campus. There are some exceptions. If you live within Merced, there are some exceptions. So if you do have questions about that, you can definitely reach out to our admissions team and our housing team, and they will definitely be able to address those questions. But that is why we have that requirement. And students, as Kayleen mentioned, they love Afro Hall. They want to stay in Afro Hall the second year and even after that. And they want to participate in the club and organization as well.
Definitely what Dr. Grady said. I'm a student that moved off campus my second year. To be very honest with you, as you start to transition off campus, it becomes very hard to keep up with everything that's happening on campus, because by the time you're done with classes, the first thing on your mind is, okay, I need to go home. I'm tired. I've been to campus all day. Versus, it's just right there. You walk up and down the little street and you're to your class and you're still able to be fully participant on the campus.
Great. There's a question here from a student saying, I plan on majoring in public health, but I'm going on to continue to become a physician assistant. Would I be able to take prerequisites on the side? So great question as it relates to careers, right? And I think one of the great things about our institution is that we are very focused in helping students think about life after UC Merced. When it comes to professions within medicine, whether it's I want to be a dentist, a physician assistant, a medical doctor, you can be essentially any major and go to medical school or go to a PA program, so as long as you take the prerequisite requirements. So we have students doing that all the time. As Kayleen mentioned, she's a public health major and she's applying to medical school. So that is definitely possible if you want to become a physician assistant and major in public health. Kayleen, anything you want to add? Because this is really your area.
Definitely one thing I'll say about going into a career, go into a major that you love. So if physician assistant is what you want to go into and public health is what you love, go ahead, get started in it right away. Me personally, it took me a while to reach to my public health journey. I started off as a human biology major. It was okay, it was cool. I came in it with the mindset of I have to major bio for me to become a physician. And even though I realized that a little later, I was able to change my major to public health, and I'm still on that same track. One thing I'll definitely say is when you do come to the campus, interact quickly with the advisors, just so you can get a plan going on with the classes, because one thing you don't want to do is taking classes that you don't need and staying here longer than what you do need to be there. And one big person, we recently hired a medical director on our campus, Dr. Thelma Hurd, and you can go ahead and email her as well and find her. And she has been able to sit on previous medical school acceptance boards, so she's very helpful and connected and can help you on that path as you come to our campus.
Yes, and just to note with Dr. Hurd, she's a surgeon and a doctor by trade, a physician by trade, and she's also a Black physician. So we're very excited to have her, and she's been working closely with a lot of our clubs and organizations, really working closely with the Black community, trying to do all that she can to help Black students get into medical professions. We have a question here about when do clubs and organizations typically meet? As a new member, when can I expect to meet with the clubs and organizations?
Okay. So clubs and organization, you will start to have your first interaction with them with orientation. Right now, due to COVID-19, we're still figuring out how orientation will be ran. So if it is on campus, typically you'll have a chance of time to start meeting with them then. And then once you start school, the first week of school is when all organizations are out and advertising and having those events that I was mentioning earlier. And so those will be the time for you to go ahead and meet with them. And then over the course of the semester, as it progresses, they will be sending out information about when is more meeting times and more social times as well. So you definitely want to stay up to date with their social media accounts.
Mm-hmm. A couple of questions about scholarships available for Black students. There's definitely scholarships available for Black students on campus, and also just internal scholarships for continuing students, and also scholarships for research, to get involved, to write grants, to work on a variety of different initiatives. One of the things that we have is an equity, diversity, and inclusion grant, and students can apply for up to $5,000 to do an initiative of their choosing as it relates to furthering work around equity, diversity, and inclusion. We have a prestigious scholarship office on campus through our Bright Success Center that students can apply to. We have a career center that has a variety of different scholarships for students. So yes, there are definitely scholarships available for Black students, and a lot of our students, they get and receive internal scholarships as well as external scholarships and fellowships, and a variety of different offices to work with you on everything from how do you even come up with a resume? How do you put your personal statement together for fellowships and scholarships? So yes, lots of opportunities for that.
Yes, same thing that Dr. Grady said. There's a lot of internal scholarship, a lot of external scholarship. My best advice for you at this time period is just to start Googling. You can definitely Google up scholarships for Black students. I know there's a lot of foundation, like the Jackie Robinson Foundations. Those are different things that you can go and apply, and a lot of them will be 4-year scholarships. So put yourself out there. Is definitely there. It's just going to take a little patience and really just finding time to sit and sort through.
Mm-hmm. A question, Kayleen, about the application for Afro Hall. Is it available yet, or how can students sign up?
So so the moment you go into your housing portal, once you log in, there will be an option asking you where do you want to live. You can choose African for Retention, Outreach, Living and Learning Community. And the moment you check it off, they will tell you that we will follow up with you with a supplemental application. And so after they submit the supplemental application, you fill that out, you submit, and then they'll do selection process, contact you if they need to contact you for further information, and then you will receive your notice. So apply.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A question about what new things are going to be available during the fall 2020 term. And, I can go through the 3 kind of student success categories. So academic resources, there's always new academic resources available for students, from technology and making from our laptop loaner program to our professional clothing closet for students, for interviews and whatnot, to make sure that students have access to a variety of different options. There is a variety of different labs on campus, from a chem lab to a math lab, all of them offering new workshops, new activities, new ways of engaging students through technology. So tons of new initiatives academically starting in the fall, also through our Bright Success Center as well. Now, if we talk about personally, our Office of Student Involvement, for example, is brand new and working on a variety of new ways of engaging students. So they put out a survey to the campus community to hear from students. That will be brand new actually in the fall, to hear from you all what kinds of events, artists do you want to see at our community. We had Ella May come a year or so ago, and that was an artist that students really advocated for. So know that every year, the Office of Student Involvement will be putting on new events and new activities. But really, the most exciting update in terms of fall 2020 is the grand opening of our 2020 project. This has been a $1.1 billion campus expansion, and we've been opening up various phases over the past couple of years. So we're having our grand opening in August. So we're really excited about that. In the grand opening, there will be a brand new pool for students to use, new recreation fields, a new gaming lounge for students to utilize, new study spaces, new ways of engagement on campus. So that's something that we're really, really excited about. And I know that our students can't wait for all of those brand new resources and facilities to open. We have a new dance studio opening up, a new photography lounge opening. So a lot of new things opening in the fall. Anything else, Kayleen, you want to add about the fall?
That's about it. I was going to say, I think a lot of students coming in the fall have a lot of things to look forward, because as I've been going through my 4 years, it's just like every year it gets better and better and better. And well, fortunately, graduated, I won't be able to experience it all, but I think also being the fact that we're one of the newest UCs already set things off a little bit more to where you have a lot of new discoveries to play around with as you come to campus.
A question for you, Kayleen, about UC Merced being a Hispanic serving institution, and was that a culture shock for you? And just to know, we're also a minority serving institution as well, and an Asian Pacific Islander institution as well. But being a Hispanic serving institution, was that a culture shock for you?
No, it wasn't a cultural shock. So a little background about me, coming from Oakland, California. If you're not from the Bay Area, it's a melting pot. It's a lot of different cultures out there. I attended a military style school, and so at my school it was heavily Latino students and also African American students. So I was able to get a good balance of the two. And one thing also with me is coming to campus. Me personally, I wanted a diverse campus. I did not want to attend a PWI just because I wanted to be amongst other cultures as well and be able to learn with them and see, how are our values alike and different. Being on the campus, I would say it has been an interesting experience. But then again, it's been a wonderful experience because though we are minorities together, we all sometimes have the same fight and we all want the same things.
Thank you. There's a question about roommates, and are students allowed to choose their roommates?
So yes. So for example, coming into AFRO, if you were to come into the AFRO, on the application, we will ask you, do you have any preference of roommates? We understand that sometimes students come to the campus already having friends and this is who you want to stay with. You're more than welcome to always list those people as your roommates. And then if you don't have a roommate yet, but you want to meet other people, the school have a roommate portal set up where they'll ask you a set of questions and you answer it, and they'll try to match you with other students that they think are best fit with you. And you can start like connecting, messaging them, and figuring out if this is the person you really want to roommate with and moving on forward. And if you don't care, well, there's always random assignment.
So question about, on average, kind of how many Black students attend UC Merced, and kind of what does that look like?
So if you were to look at a percentage where the percentage of Black students here on our campus is 5%, however, if you're looking at numbers, I would say we're roughly around 400 students that are African American, that identify as African American coming into the institution.
And also, I think it's important to note, relative to our sister campuses, the 9 other UC campuses, we actually have the highest percentage relative to our student body size of Black students. So that's something that we're very proud of, and we're continuously striving to get more Black students to come to our campus. But we have a very strong Black community at UC Merced that is not only strong, but they're also thriving, which is indicative of their success and their retention at the university and what they're doing after UC Merced.
And I think to add on to that, one beautiful thing about the campus is that we're not that big to where I can walk up and down to school and see at least 5, 6 Black people that I know, and I can be saying hello, hey, how are you, check in with you, versus just a tunnel vision where it's like I have to go searching to see where everybody is at. So that's been a beautiful thing about my experience.
And I think another thing that I hear as Dean of Students from students is that they love that on our campus, they have such personal relationships with faculty and staff that they can walk into our chancellor's office hours every single month and just sit down with our chancellor and have conversations about their concerns and things that they would like to see. They can walk into our weekly office hours with our vice chancellor, Dr. Neese, to tell him about things that they want to see. And then my office, I'm available every single day to meet with students. And as Kayleen knows, I meet with Kayleen all the time, just talking and laughing and sharing stories. And you don't get to see that at other institutions, just that close connection. And that is really helpful as we think about that career piece for our students. Students are getting letters of recommendation from myself, the Associate Vice Chancellor, letters of recommendation from our Chancellor, faculty, all the time. And that is more challenging when you look at some of our sister campuses and much larger campuses.
That's very true.
So question here, Kayleen, about how are African Americans treated in the city of Merced?
How are African American treated in the city of Merced? One thing I would say is if you're coming from a very metropolitan city like I am, it is going to be a shock at first. I will make that out there. However, it is an environment that you get adjusted to. The community of the city of Merced in general, it's a mix of cultures. Going back again, it is African Americans, it is Hispanic, and it is white as well. If I'm being honest, I have had a few encounters of like, microaggression, racism, just the typical stuff that we go through as Black people sometimes. But I will definitely say it's not to the point where I cannot move forward and move around the city of Merced how I want and how I please. So.
And I would just add on to that, again, the Black community is very strong, not only at UC Merced, but also in the community. We have, as Kayleen mentioned, the NAACP starting a chapter on our campus, but our NAACP chapter in the Merced community is very strong. We have a lot of residents within the community that want to get involved with our campus community. A lot of our Black students, they volunteer in the community, and they really work to ensure that that the Black community is continuously thriving. And as Kayleen mentioned, yes, there are definitely challenges, but there are challenges anywhere that we go. But I think what I've found valuable is just the support and love that is rooted in the Black community at UC Merced. We support one another. We're here for one another, whether you're a student, staff, or faculty. And that, to me, has been very, very powerful.
And that I agree with as well.
Another question about Afro Hall, and as a freshman, can I get a single room in Afro Hall?
There is no singles opportunities in Afro Hall, unfortunately. The closest thing that you will get is the rooms that we put aside for people who need any kind of special services. That'll be the where you can get a single, but realistically, no. And plus, you will want to be with other people. I know sometimes it's hard because, maybe back home you're used to being by yourself in your own bubble. But honestly, it's all a part of college because you never know. These roommates can turn into your lifelong best friends. And you would have probably missed out on that by living by yourself. So that's a good way to kind of think about it.
Mm-hmm. And there was a question earlier about if I have a medical accommodation need and I need to be in a single room, are there options for me? And the answer is yes. If you do have some medical accommodations that need to be taken into account, our Housing and Residence Education Unit will definitely work with you. Our Student Accessibility Services Office will work with you. So if you want to live in Afro Hall, please fill out the application. But as Kayleen mentioned, a lot of our students, they love having roommates and just getting to know new people. It just really creates a strong, supportive environment. A question about transfer students. Are transfer students required to stay on campus? No, transfer students are not, it's not mandated for transfer students to stay on campus. If you would like to stay on campus, there are some options available and you can definitely apply, but it is not a requirement. There's another question about Afro Hall. Can you further expand or elaborate on any seminars that are required for someone living in Afro Hall?
So coming into AFRO Hall, there are definitely some requirements that we are expecting from our students. One of them is GPA. We do have a GPA standard that we expect. It's a 2.75. The reason why we have that standard is because, simply, once again, we want you out in 4 years. We want to make sure that you're thriving successfully and academically. One thing is, and also there's a seminar class we want you to be involved in. This seminar class, every freshman has it, but we try to make it more so you're taking this class with the same people that live on the hall with you. And it just tips how you can navigate your first year of college. Other requirements as well, living in the hall, is that we are expecting you to be actively participating within the organization. Once again, the hall is a branch of a bigger organization. And so when we say community surveys, we expect you to kind of come out for community surveys, or when we do workshops, or when we bring speakers on campus. Sometimes we do bring people to come in and speak to the Black communities. So there are expectations, but we won't be expecting anything from you that we know you cannot give.
Absolutely. A question, I am coming from Los Angeles to Merced. How does Merced compare to a noisy, active, and very known environment? How were you able to adjust from your city to Merced? I'm actually from Los Angeles. I'm born and raised from Compton, Carson, Long Beach area, if you're familiar with Southern California. So the adjustment to Merced, it's different. It definitely is different. But one of the things that I love about Merced is that its proximity to so many different places. We are so close to Yosemite National Park. We're about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Oakland and San Francisco. We're about 2 hours from Monterey. There's public transportation, the Amtrak, buses, things for our students to get around. We have various programs that take students to San Francisco and Yosemite and various places at no cost. So I think a lot of our students appreciate just being able to get away on the weekends and have things to do. But in terms of Merced as a city, it is very quiet as compared to Los Angeles. But as a student in Merced, I hear from students that they appreciate being able to really focus on studying and really getting involved on campus. I mean, our students, compared to our sister campuses, are able to do so many things from the first day that they step foot on our campus community. As Kayleen mentioned, one of our first year students started our S.T.E.P team, and they have gone on to do so many things, not only in our community, but statewide, and going to different conferences, participating in research from day one. Our students are in labs working on everything from cancer research to HIV/AIDS research, you name it. And I think that has been something that is very beneficial to students, starting clubs and organizations. So students are very busy, and I'm sure, Kayleen, you can talk about all the things that you've done at UC Merced, from research to conferences to getting involved to prepare for your career. Oh, Kayleen, you're on mute.
From a student end, I will say the first few weeks are going to be hard. I mean, if you're used to just all the time just being out, hearing the cars is going through, it is going to be hard at first. But I will say it's not something that you can't adjust to. I've come to grow into the quiet space. Sometimes when I do go home, I'm like, dang, it's so noisy here. But it's kind of a wonderful thing. One thing about Merced as well is what you make of it. And I've come to understand that putting myself out there, meeting new people and connecting with them, like me and my friends, we'll create our own fun, whether that's going out on a picnic, going out to dinner together. Like Dr. Grady said, cities are not that far. Sometimes we'll go and explore Fresno, or it only takes me an hour and 30 to get home. So it's in the center of everything where I can still get away and have fun. And being on this campus as well, one thing that I love and appreciate about UC Merced is that going back, it gave me a space to study. Knowing the kind of person I am, if this kind of campus was back home where, you're distracted with friends coming in saying, hey, let's do this, let's do that, you kind of sometimes lose focus of why you was really there. And I think UC Merced continuously kept me focused on what am I here for, what is my mission, and what can I accomplish. And once I was able to put that in me, UC Merced has provided me research opportunities. I've been able to be involved in research for now 2 years with one of our Black faculty here on campus. Being involved has allowed me to go to Panama. I was able to go on Panama on a pre-medical trip where I was able to serve the undeserved communities out there. I've been able to be on leadership boards all my 4 years and graduating and be a student leader. So do keep in mind that this is a campus that allows you to be yourself and self-grow as a person, battle through the challenges and obstacles, but still come up at top and strong.
And Kayleen is being very modest. She's also going to be our Black grad student speaker. Again, she's done so much, but like many of our Black student leaders on campus, they're very, very involved. We've had Black students advocate for Black Cultural Resource Center, which we now have, a multicultural center that we now have. So there's so many opportunities to say, I was the first to create and lead. And that is so important as you're applying for graduate school, as you're thinking about life after UC Merced. We have a question here about nightlife in terms of parties and events on and off campus. I will answer the on-campus part. I'll cover my ears and let Kayleen kind of talk about the party and the partying and nightlife off campus. But on campus, as we mentioned earlier, we have a lot of events on campus, from sporting and athletic events to our campus activities board. We have every month a large programming event. In the fall, we have what's called Treats and Beats, which is a huge concert with over 3,000 to 4,000 students where they come, and there's a huge musical artist. As I said, we've had LMA in the past, Ray J, and a variety of Wale, a variety of different artists come. There's carnival rides and food trucks. All of this comes as part of your fees. In the spring, another signature event is what's called Coachella. I'm sure you all have heard of Coachella, but we've started a tradition called Coachella with a variety of different musical art acts that come to our campus. It's a huge party on campus. But even before that, during Welcome Week, we have a variety of different activities, from a block party to what's called Target Night, which is a huge party within Target. We shut down sections of our local Target, and we have a huge party for our incoming students. So there's a lot of opportunities for just engagement and partying on campus. Now I'll cover my ears and I'll let Kayleen talk about the nightlife off campus.
One thing I always tell students as well is, if you're looking for it, trust and believe, it was not going to be hiding. Here at UC Merced off campus, there's definitely parties. Party can start anywhere from Thursday and go on till Sunday night. So if you're looking for how to distract yourself and go out there, be sure and be definite that it's out there. It's out there. Only thing I advise is to just be safe as always, and always go out with a group of people that you trust.
And thank you, Kayleen. And just to be mindful of time, we have a couple of minutes left. But just to add on that, in all honesty, we really talk a lot about balance, right? So yes, you're coming to UC Merced to be a student first, but recognizing that, that balance of not only your academics, but your personal life and your social life is being very, very important. As Kayleen mentioned, anything that you're looking for, you can probably find. There are students that can help guide you. So definitely excited to have you all to our campus. There's one more question here. Mr. Grady, will you be available to talk to incoming students who need to be guided or to provide an upperclassman to help? Absolutely. The last slide of Kayleen's presentation will have my email address. It's deanofstudents@ucmerced.edu. Please feel free to contact me if you have questions. I also have a website. You can just type in a search, UC Merced Dean of Students. All of my contact information is there as well. Please, if you want to set up some Zoom calls to ask questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you all may have. But Kayleen, I'll let you finish the remaining 2 slides, and we'll let Ricky close us out.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead. This was an activity that would have been done in person with our students, but you know, we can still do this virtually. So this is called the Black BOBCAT Promise. So at this time, I would love for you all to turn to a loved one that has supported you throughout your whole entire educational journey to where you're at right now. And if you don't have a loved one next to you, that's okay. I highly encourage you to screenshot this promise and go ahead and tell them when you possibly can. So repeat after me. So for me, I'll say my mom, Eugenie, thank you for getting me this far in my educational endeavor. I promise to soak up all the resources college has to offer me and self-grow. One day I will be able to repay you for all the love and support you have poured in me. This is not a physical token, but let my words be a promise to you and my community. I will succeed and I will break down barriers that hinder me. I am the future. So as we continue on, please keep that promise for yourself, for your loved ones, and know that college is another chapter of your life that you can most definitely succeed through. If I can do it, I know you all can do it as well.
And I just want to, again, thank everyone. Know that we hope that you choose UC Merced. We are here to make sure that you succeed. And in the words of our chancellor, we will always, as a campus, continue to prioritize our students and their well-being and their success, because we know that we are better together and that we are BOBCAT proud. And you know, our Black BOBCATs are so strong, they're thriving. So thank you all again. If you have any questions, on the last slide, again, Kayleen will have my contact information. I look forward to working with you all and hopefully seeing you all in the fall. And I'll turn it over to Ricky to close us out. Thank you again, Kayleen, as well.
Thank you. So here goes the contact information for Dr. Grady, as mentioned. And so if you like to have any further questions, reach out to him. And then we also have something called the Black Book, which is an online website that will be going live April 22nd. And so that will be a platform where you can see more of this information in more details and go further into it. Thank you all. I appreciate you all, and thank you for your time. And I'll hand it over to Ricky now.
Thank you, Kayleen, so much. And thank you again, Dr. Grady. This was a wonderful presentation. I've done several of these. This was by far one of the best. So Kayleen, congratulations to you on doing a wonderful presentation, and for Dr. Grady for all of your support. This online event was for Black student success. The presentation, again, will be recorded and it will be available online. It is part of our larger series for admitted student webinars, and so we are hosting those for the entire month of April and beyond. You can find the recording for this probably about the middle of next week. It'll be available, and that will be on the website of admitted.ucmerced.edu/webinars. Again, admitted.ucmerced.edu/webinars. On behalf of the University of California, Merced, and my colleagues who have presented a wonderful job tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.